Cancun on Mexico's Gulf Coast is a globally renowned tourist town. You come here for the sun, the beaches, the resorts and the bars. Somewhere between 3 and 4 million head here every year, swamping the 500,000 or so residents. Most everyone comes to party. And it's hard not to have fun. Even if you're here for your part in the very serious business of surrogacy. Among the tourists on this sightseeing cruise are women from poorer parts of Mexico and Central and South America, glimpsing a high life they may have never known.
Some of them never been out of their hometown. Some of them never been out of the village, ever. So it's an exciting experience for them, and they love it, and they know that there's more out there than they ever imagined.
If all goes well over the months ahead, they'll not only have their sun-kissed memories of a resort city and the day trips to Cancun's less spoiled corners, they'll also have a paycheck they could never have imagined at home. More than $10,000 for delivering a child to couples from America, Europe, even Australia.
I have some girls that want to do this because they want to put up a little store in their village. I have another girl who wants to learn how to cut hair because she wants to put a little beauty salon in her village. I have a girl who wishes to go to university.
Toda mi vida desde niña siempre me ha gustado ayudar a las personas y me fascinan los niños. Me encantan, los amo. Si hay una pareja o una familia que le pueda dar un hogar a un bebé, que lo pueda hacer feliz económicamente, sentimentalmente, en todos los aspectos, pues es interesante también contribuir a esta nueva experiencia.
Adriana Rincon is 32, a single mother from Colombia who's hoping her pregnancy will transform her life.
Entonces la idea es, no sé, montar un negocio, algo pequeño, donde desde ahí podemos iniciar algo más grande, donde mi mamá sienta más estabilidad y más apoyo y pueda ayudarse ya económicamente en su casa y con mis hermanas. Se le ha quitado mucho.
Adriana's contracted to a US-based baby broker called Planet Hospital that's set up shop in Cancun and that manages this share house for its surrogates.
Sometimes they have to come out here because they chosen to be away from their abusive ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, or significant other. Sometimes they want to be away from their family members because they don't accept what they're doing because of political views or religion. Sometimes their parents don't accept or don't agree, and they do. They have the heart and the soul to do this, and they think it's worth the fact. Leave all of it behind, better themselves, and help a family.
Adriana's been matched to an Argentinian client. She'll be inseminated with donor sperm, and when she delivers, she's told she'll be paid $13,500.
Básicamente es por eso que lo estoy haciendo, para poderlas ayudar directamente. Todo lo que yo estoy haciendo en este momento es por mi familia, por ellos.
Planet Hospital pitches itself in the massive neighbouring market of the United States as an affordable alternative to local surrogacy. It also targets prospective parents, particularly gay couples and singles, who are prohibited from participating in commercial surrogacy programs offered by countries like India. In San Francisco, Massimo De Lucia is about to sign up.
I'm gay, not gonna be able to have a baby in the natural way, and I wanted to have it with my partner and want to, have the baby and, do it together, and the only way to do it is through surrogacy.
The couple have done their research. Mexico fits Massimo's partner's heritage, and the cost of surrogacy south of the border suits as well.
It's cheaper than in the US. It's probably half the price that you would pay in the US, so that's definitely an incentive. My dad passed away 2 years ago, and he left me actually some money. For me, it was just the best way to use that money to have a kid. I'm sure he would be very happy with that.
Hello, how are you? Come right in.
Good. How are you?
Good. Come in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Massimo's flown down to Cancun to give the place a final once-over before he
Come right
commits.
this way. Allow me to introduce you to the girls. You want to have a seat?
Sure.
Hola, él es el señor Massimo. Ellas son las
Surrogacy
chicas,
house manager
unas que
Marisol
forman parte de
Morales
nuestro
has
grupo.
assembled
Le
Adriana
presento
and
a
some of the other
Soledad,
surrogates to field
señor
Massimo's
Massimo,
concerns.
Lorena.
Sí, esa era mi pregunta más importante, ¿verdad? Si saben que lo hacen para una pareja gay, ¿qué le parece esto? Si
O sea,
no le molesta o...
para
Es
nosotros,
irrelevante.
sé, no estoy segura de que tendrían un muy buen hogar, muy buen hogar. Entonces, feliz, feliz de que todo.
My biggest concern was being scammed. Now is making sure that Planet Hospital knows what to do here in Mexico. I know that they've done it in other parts of the world, but they've never done it here, so that's the piece that concerns me the most.
Porque no queremos que haya
But she sounded trustworthy. It makes me feel better.
Well, for me, Planet Hospital is a bit of a love story.
Surrogacy entrepreneur Rudy Rupak is the brains behind Planet Hospital.
I guess I'd like to say I'm the uncle to about 750 kids around the globe, and it's a great feeling. To grow a company that brings joy to people's lives is almost as close to being Walt Disney I'll ever get.
Rudy Rupak's background is in software development, but from a base in North America, he's set up an enterprise that matches childless couples with egg donors and surrogates. And the way he tells it, it's state-of-the-art, reliable, and going gangbusters.
A majority of our clients do come from the US and Canada. A growing number of clients are coming from Australia, New Zealand. We're seeing a lot of European countries also looking for surrogacy. Anywhere there is infertility, anywhere there is empowered gay people, these are the people that are contacting us and saying, help us.
The IVF conception and implantation process takes place in a fertility clinic in Cancun. But local laws prohibiting surrogate birth mean when the women are due to deliver, they're sent 2 states away to Tabasco, the only place in Mexico where loopholes in the law mean surrogacy for profit is effectively legal.
The parents will come to Tabasco to pick up their babies or baby, and at that point there is a US embassy there or an Australian embassy in Mexico City, which is an hour-and-a-half flight away. And within 2 to 3 weeks, they're able to have the baby and go home.
So far, Massimo De Lucia has paid $2,000 to make a sperm deposit.
I was thinking that a dream may come true anytime soon.
Despite some earlier nerves, Adriana Rincon is feeling pretty positive about her pregnancy.
Yo decía, no, va a ser muy difícil por tanta hormona, pero la verdad no fue tan grave como me lo imaginaba.
Being away from home, her own family and her daughter is an emotional wrench. Having a child only to surrender it at birth is also a dramatic experience. Adriana's hoping it'll be worth it.
Planet Hospital itself seemed to be a very well-known, established organization. But I can't tell you one area of that business that was consistently run above board. Not one.
Catherine Moscarello lives in Chicago. By now, she should be raising the child she'd hoped to have via surrogacy. Catherine engaged Planet Hospital and very soon was matched with an apparently healthy surrogate who'd already had a son.
We were told she was a 22-year-old single mom and she had a little boy. That's all we were told. She was barely 18. Her son was not a boy, he was a baby. He was less than 9 months old, and he had breastfed for at least six of those 9 months. In addition, she had uterine cysts that they did a procedure to remove the day before our transfer. I feel like we wasted 2 embryos. Transferred, got pregnant, she miscarried. She was not qualified to be a surrogate. She should have never passed screening.
What makes Catherine Moscarello's discoveries so explosive is that she's not simply an aggrieved client of Planet Hospital. She's a former employee. Both Catherine and her lawyer husband worked for Planet Hospital in part payment for their surrogacy deal. It wouldn't be long before she discovered there was a pattern of deception. Intending parents, or IPs, were being duped left, right and centre.
Planet Hospital is run like a Ponzi scheme. They price the services based on how desperate they can figure the IP is. Get the stage 1 fees in their hands. The stage 1 fees are basically, should be used for the semen sample, for the egg retrieval, so the egg donor, egg retrieval, IVF, embryo transfer, beginning surrogate. Stage 2 fees start at the heartbeat. Well, none of that ever gets done. So if they're lucky, they leave their semen sample. I'm sitting with the 3 petitioning creditors, for instance. $37,000 was paid. He never even left a semen sample, and the money's gone. And Rupak, it's stall. It's stall. It's not to Rupak's benefit to get to stage 2 or stage 3. They just put you off and put you off and put you off.
Foreign correspondent has obtained evidence that Planet Hospital had form, going all the way back to its original operation in India. Shut down when it was besieged by angry clients and associated clinics that had been dudded.
In India, you need an exit visa, and you don't get the exit visa until your clinic signs off that your debts are paid. I can't tell you the number of IPs I've just recently met that had to come out of their own pocket, had to hire their own attorneys, because Rupak just left them there.
It wouldn't take long for the same result in Cancun.
So we've come back to the house where the surrogate women were living. It's all locked up. The neighbours are saying they noticed strange goings on here, lots of women coming and going, but they were too concerned about their own safety to get involved.
So where had everyone gone? What had happened to the pregnancies underway when we left? The surrogates, the clients, and the money? And where were the operators of Planet Hospital? We soon learn that Marisol Morales, the manager of the surrogacy house, is living nearby. When we find her, she declares herself a victim as well.
I try to email him, I try to contact him and tell him and demand that he is honest and comes forward and returns that money, and all he does is ignore my calls.
She claims Planet Hospital's Rudy Rupak owes her $18,000 and that she's doing her best to care for some of the surrogates he's abandoned.
I not want him to be punished, because this is not the first time he's done something like this, coming to a foreign country, leaving pregnant women in unpaid bills. This is the third time. He's done it in India, and there's lawsuits against him. He's done it in Panama. Now he's done it in Mexico. I think he's just a cheater. He's a con artist. He's very lovable and sweet and pretends to be human. He's not, he's evil.
It takes us a little longer to track down surrogate Adriana Rincon.
El hecho de ser madre subrogada no nos hace un aparato de microondas, digamos, que solamente guardamos. También sentimos, también lo sentimos.
Adriana had hoped to transform her life with the money she'd earned from delivering a baby. But now she's living in a cramped single room in Mexico City, dealing with the miscarriage at 4 months of twins.
Fue duro, porque prácticamente di a luz con los medicamentos que me dieron para que arrojaran, para que salieran. Y fue algo largo. Tuve contracciones, tuve muchos dolores, sola, en medio de la noche, rodeada de mucha gente, pero sola, en un baño de la casa, esperando simplemente a que salieran. Es muy triste. Sí se aprende a querer, porque está dentro de ti y es difícil.
In her native Colombia, Adriana had a career as a social worker. But as an illegal immigrant in Mexico, finding any kind of work is almost impossible. Of the $13,500 she was expecting, she's received just $800. She doesn't know where her next meal is coming from.
Le puedo dejar mi solicitud. En la parte de acá está mi número de celular. Así no te lo digan, te lo hacen sentir. Tú ya no sirves para nada. Vete, ya no me sirves.
Well, turned out to be a nightmare, truly.
Back in San Francisco, Massimo De Lucia has lost $22,500. 3 embryos were produced, but they're locked away in a Cancun clinic. The clinic refusing to release them unless Massimo pays another $5,000 to cover some of Planet Hospital's unpaid bills.
He cheated too many people. It's, one thing is being cheated when you're doing a business transaction, but a very different thing is when you're playing with people's feelings and dreams, and, it's already hard for a gay couple to have a kid, and go through the surrogacy is a mess, and you're playing with that.
Rudy Rupak lives among celebrities and the well-to-do in a gated community outside Los Angeles. This office is where he cooks up his schemes.
There's a hospital in Medellin, Colombia. Daryl witnessed it. You walk in with Parkinson's, like with the shakes. You walk out without Parkinson's, like without the shakes.
That could be huge. You get a huge inflow of clients from that.
There's not a lot in the States. I'm not a thief. I'm not a con artist. I made a very bad mistake. I made some bad judgment calls. Yes.
But you couldn't work with either.
When we finally sit down with Rudy Rupak to discuss the catalogue of complaints and accusations against him, we get plenty of mea culpa, but very few straight answers.
It was basically one disaster after another, and I take 100% blame for what happened. We were faced with very major problems one after the other, both internally and abroad.
Before you even came to Mexico, though, all of these things had happened in a similar way in India.
Yes.
You're the common element here.
Yes, I agree. I should have learned from what I did in India and try to prevent that from happening in Mexico. I didn't. I got too ambitious about Mexico. I really wanted to work. I guess I just didn't do my diligence as well as I should have, and I failed in that regards. It's not available in the U.S.
When it comes to the question of money, Rupak appears to conjure a scapegoat out of thin air, a crooked chief financial officer.
People paid you fees. Where's the money gone?
Well, one of the biggest challenges we had is that we had a rather unethical CFO who is currently incarcerated. And
who is that?
We couldn't find any evidence the CFO ever existed. Planet Hospital duped and fleeced clients, conscripted inappropriate surrogates who couldn't carry children, abandoned surrogates, and even tried to sell one client's eggs to another. Foreign Correspondent has evidence that Planet Hospital tried to cover that up. And when we confront Rudy Rupak with that evidence, at first he denies it ever happened.
Falsifying egg reports? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? I mean...
It's there in black and white.
It's falsified in black and white. It's falsified in black and white.
So this email shows that you did indeed
He then
share
concedes the evidence is authentic.
I'm sorry I misspoke to you earlier about this. It was not my recollection as to how it went, really.
This cannot be the first time you've realised what went on there. You knew what happened at the time.
This is probably the first time we did this egg-splitting idea. It's absolutely the first time we did that. And it was the only time we did that at this, ever in the history of our company. You know, it was, I felt it was win-win for both parties.
When clients talk about negative experiences they've had with Planet Hospital, you threaten them with legal action, you launch smear campaigns, you shame them, you publish their confidential information online.
Yes, absolutely. If they're attacking me, I will attack back.
Either he's a thief or he's grossly negligent because he knows he doesn't manage businesses well. He knows he's going to lose these people's money. He knows his history and that it repeats like clockwork. It doesn't make me feel any better. I, for one, believe he's a thief.
Where they have APIs in the back end.
Everything he does is calculated to preserve his interest. And if other people are injured or harmed or scarred, not a big deal. No interest.
Disgruntled clients, led by former employee Catherine Moscarello, are now forcing Rudy Rupak into bankruptcy and have effectively stopped him from trading. The FBI has launched a criminal investigation.
What's clear is while one culprit's been exposed, there will always be another rogue operator, new sets of parents desperate to have children, and a willing supply of surrogates trying to better their own lives. And when this pattern plays out around the world in developing countries with next to no regulation, there are very few winners.
Adriana Rincon is still trapped in Mexico, away from her daughter and facing an uncertain future. But she's determined to overcome her ordeal.
Seguir luchando, o sea, necesito estar positiva, necesito, porque si no entonces me hundo en mí. Y me voy a acabar, o sea, voy a hacer nada. Y no quiero eso.